Every single day I've got people asking me how to get rich with crypto. What are the steps? Do you buy altcoins? Do you buy Bitcoin? Are you going to do it with leverage trading? What's the best way? And straight off the bat, I can tell you there are a multitude of ways to get extremely wealthy. And I'd say I also think there's a difference between getting one coin right and now having a lot of money, being more rich, or having a properly working system, a properly working strategy perhaps that will consistently make you gains over time, make you more wealthy, I guess. But let's stay simple. How to get rich in crypto? Well, if we're being real, the absolute easiest way is to buy the right altcoin at the right time. That might sound a little bit freaking stupid because it's too easy, right? However, nobody said you could only put all your money onto one altcoin and it'd have to be 100% right. The way I usually do it is we look at where in the cycle we are. Right now, as it stands, we're going from more Bitcoin oriented to altcoin oriented, which is a time where we start shifting from the biggest of biggest cryptos like a Bitcoin and Ethereum, etc., to smaller and smaller coins that I'm prepared to hold for, let's say, the next 1 year or so. It could be a correction in the midst, but let's say if we look back at our bags in a year from now, I expect on average a 10x return. What I do not do is just buy one coin, wait, and hope for the best, because it could be that that coin gets really bad news or gets an SEC lawsuit, whatever. I've told you guys before, I've had coins go from $100 in value to $20,000, $40,000, even no SOLANA. If you put $1,000 in October or so, right now it'd be worth $370,000, something like that. And that's why I always look crazy to people who say $10 here, $50 there is not going to make a difference because they just don't have the experience. And that's one of the worst things, that people with no experience that don't know shit are going to start telling you what is and what isn't possible. So the reason I said here, buying the right altcoin at the right time and not just go for a meme coin is because with meme coins, there's a lot more game. There's a lot more knowledge necessary. And the reason I didn't say pre-sales is because a lot of people will not be able to do it. And again, a lot of knowledge needs to come in. Both of those, though, could be quicker alternatives. So that being you buying meme coins every single day, all day long, because if you know the game, and I know it, for example, a lot of you guys know it, but let's just say if you know the game, it's very, very hard to lose, and it's very hard not to make a couple $1,000s every day. That's with very little, because you're multiplying your money hard. Sometimes you lose, but it's not a lot of money you can make per time. Usually you make $700 here, $2,000 there. It's not the hundreds of thousands or millions that many people are looking for. But you have to do it over and over, a couple coins a day, for example, or, quantity over quality very often, because it's memes, man. And the second part, the pre-sales, I'd say it's the most profitable endeavor you could go for, by far, most profitable. But again, people in the US, it's going to be hard. You need to find a person that can make you verify your ID. So you need to either buy it on the dark web, get yourself another ID from another country, use a different passport, ask a friend, Photoshop it, I don't know. But there's just barriers because you also need to understand many, many different parts of it. And again, that's why I also didn't mention leverage trading at the start. It's very doable. You only need to make one right trade. Even if you've only got a $10,000 or whatever, you can turn that 10,000 into $1 million in a few weeks with one trade if you're very lucky. I mean, it can. $10,000 at 100x leverage, $1 million. If the price of whatever you're trading doubles, well, you were trading with $1 million, so you make $1 million. Bada boom, bada bang. But again, extremely hard. Coming to the fact that if we're talking about getting rich with altcoins, it really ain't that hard. Many of the coins I've talked about on the channel over the last couple of weeks have given people crazy results. And if you want my own 2 cents, just buy AI cryptos, gaming cryptos, decentralized computing, or distributed computing is what they call it, and perhaps a little dibble and dabble in the BRC20 ecosystem. And perhaps you could go real world assets, but it's more difficult to find the right ones. If you stay in that sector, you become a master at it. You know every single coin that's worth something. And on the side, you're doing airdrop campaigns left and right, interacting with test nets, making sure you get every single free airdrop you can. I don't think there's a way you'll not be rich in another year or two. If you do not do what I say here now, there's probably another 1,000 ways to get rich. But this is by far the most consistent that will work for nearly anybody. that has an internet connection, has time, because that's a crucial part. If you don't have time, you cannot do the testnet airdrop type of farms. You cannot probably farm all the airdrops you should be farming, and you can probably not do the research you need to do. And if that's the case, I don't want to give you financial advice, right? So let me just rephrase it by saying, one of the best suggestions I could give as a person to you, right? Educational purposes, not financial advice, entertainment purposes, I should say, is I personally think the list that I've made, they might fail, but at least they're a lot better than if a person did not put in their own effort, did not do their own due diligence. At the end of the day, this entire sector is extremely risky, so please proceed with caution. But at the end of the day, you have to research to some extent to know where's the hype, where's the excitement. If you're not looking, you have no idea, you're shooting in the dark. Just now, and I'll make a video about that very soon here, more coins are launching yet again. And some of them, I'm actually, even though I bought them early, I'm still going to buy more the moment that they launch, usually about a week or so in, when they're at a very low point, because I understand how they will probably do over the next few months or so. One of the coins, by the way, and this is a strategy I talked to you guys about before on Binance, just launched or got listed. And every single time something launches on that launch pad, it's just easy money because I've got BNB or stable coins on Binance. You farm the pad, and now I just got myself a pretty juicy penny for just having money on Binance, basically, which is interesting. It was for pixels. Anyway, let's conclude, right? Step plan. First of all, that was a little bit earlier, and I've made this video multiple times. You buy Bitcoin, you buy your big altcoins like an XRP, like an Ethereum, like a Solana, whatever, because you're uncertain whether or not Bitcoin's going to continue on its rise or fall back down. Ethereum here is a little trump card, a little uncertainty because of a potential ETF that could come over the next few weeks or so. But usually you'd now filter out of Ethereum, Bitcoin, every single one of those and go more towards the middle section. Not your top 10s, not your top 20s, you go further away. Now, you might add here that that's usually further into altcoin season. I'm going to say this time it's so different. This time, altcoins are performing way better, way quicker. And the only one that I'm giving you guys a little for is everything to do with these ETFs. Let me also add one thing. This does not mean that altcoins like Cardano or your Solana or your XRP won't do crazy numbers. They probably will. Cardano just yesterday was up like 8%. Ethereum here is up 4% right now. It just means that on average, it's not really worth holding one of these positions because the return, let's say it's going to be a 3x or so over the next few months, whereas any one of the altcoins a couple pages down will probably do way better numbers. A Fetch, for example, right now it's 750 million market cap. I think will give way better performance than something significantly higher on the ranks. Then again, something like 𝗕𝗂, I think even though it's 4 billion, will probably still do some crazy numbers, as I've stated before, and that's why I hold some of it, but I try to focus mostly on things not even here just quite yet, just further and further away, mostly from a risk-reward perspective. Yes, you know, these will do well. If you have crazy amounts of money already, you can fully focus on them. If you're really trying to make more money, though, get rich instead of get wealthier, I personally think stay away from the ones that will do an easy 4 or 5x. Go for things that have the potential to do a 30, 40, 50 or so x. And that means, in my opinion, mostly things below $500 million worth of market cap. But the number there is not really important. It's just about how crazy is the hype. And how you find that out, mostly on Twitter, you see how are people engaging with it all. From another perspective, when it gains, so when it goes for a pump, how severe are those pumps? Is it a 3% gain? Is it a 15% gain? Is it a 35% gain? If you see a coin that sometimes does a 35%, 45%, 52%, and perhaps even 2 days in a row, you don't want to necessarily, right, buy that straight away, because if it just hit 100% or whatever in a couple of days, kind of risky. But you want to fully focus on that because there's hype, there's excitement, and I'll keep using it as an example. This coin I bought all the way back years ago. I held all the way towards 1 cent. Then I sold a good chunk of 55 cents, like somewhere around here. Sold a good chunk at like 90 something cents or so. For the most part, I held, and right now you can see just how crazy it did. But that's the thing, right? I noticed there was crazy amounts of excitement, and I was like, ooh, from a certain perspective, I want to just keep buying more. And from another perspective, be happy with the crazy amount of gains you're making, which we should discuss in a different video. How to take profit, which is also essential. One of the biggest mistakes of my life, not taking profit well enough. But so when you know there's crazy amount of excitement and the price just fluctuates with these massive numbers a couple times, you understand, okay, it can do a massive monstrous rally, a massive monstrous number. And that's also where some huge coins also deviate from a usual strategy, because if you take a look at this, even though it's already billions worth of market cap, this ranking here is not fully valid. It's not ranked only on market cap, but you can see even though the number is already massive and it's just actually insanity, it did actually put up crazy numbers, which is why I even bought it at $420 or so. And back here as well at 300 something. I made a big video about it because you can just see there's crazy price spurts, crazy excitement waves. Similarly to Solana, from October it went from $50 to $350 here in December. That shows to me, ooh, yeah, right, because it's already huge. There's crazy amount of excitement with it. This is something I want to get into because in this narrative, in this part of the market, everything AI related, I'm going for. I don't care about, oh, it's actually valued too highly. If it works, it works. I prioritize the smaller caps, but if there's large caps that are in my narratives and are doing so freaking well, I still buy it anyway. Don't want to take much of your time. Just want to give you guys a quick little update. I think honestly, right, if you're just following what I just said, it's very hard not to get extremely rich. The only thing I have to then say is, like I said with Solana just now, don't think you're invincible in that your gains will always continue on. At some point, you have to make the hard choice to take profits. Some people are really good at it and they just do not make as much gains. Some people suck at it, ride their waves up, ride their bags waves all the way down. I'm also in the middle where, like everybody, sometimes I do it the one way, sometimes I do it the other. It's your own journey. You'll never be perfect. But obviously, the best tip I can give is if your money's moving up a lot, every now and then just be like, yeah, you know what? Let me realize some, because before you know it, the bull run will be over again. You might as well just have something. Even though it was not perfect, you might as well have something instead of having nothing. I regretted nothing that I cashed out a good chunk just before it did another 7x. I think a lot of people would not be able to live with the amount of money that my portfolio goes up and down every single day. But you have to accept that when you get into the investing realm. You have good, you have bad days, you have good calls, bad calls. And instead of regretting all those things, just live with whatever choice you've made. Because if you had all the information, you would already be rich. Matter of fact, you'd be the richest person on earth, perhaps. But you don't. So you make choices with whatever information you've got. And make sure you press the like button if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video, hopefully later today.